Good day and welcome to Ed's Garage. Today, something special for you guys. I happen to be in Germany right now, and I figured I'd take the opportunity to film this i20 hybrid. This is the Hyundai i20, so what we would affectionately be calling the Hyundai Accent, but of course they're not selling them in Canada anymore. So, but it's pretty cool. This is of course the hatchback version of what the Accent would have been. So check this out. So today I want to go over some of the features that I noticed with this vehicle. I've borrowed this vehicle from a family friend, and I thought it was such a cool looking little car. I just had to do a video on it. Of course, with hybrids being all the rage today, I figured I'd take the opportunity. So check this out, some really cool parametric design styling going on in the front. Of course, we do have that wraparound grille that molds into the headlights. Looks really cool. There is a forward-facing radar on this vehicle, and of course, the lane guidance assist forward-facing camera there. Of course, that's also for the autonomous emergency braking and lane keep assist system. And I'm also even noticing a rain-sensing wiper sensor right here as well. So very, very well equipped. Now, truth be told, I actually don't know what trim level this vehicle is, because I'm not super familiar with European models, but I'll figure that out and put that in the title of the video. So anyway, let's go over all of the cool features in the space inside this neat little i20 hybrid. So right off the bat, I'm noticing it does have LED reflective headlights, and it's got a nice LED daytime running light here as well. We've got fog lights on the front, and that's a projector light. It does have forward parking sensors. I haven't gone around to the back yet, but I assume it's got parking sensors on the back as well. Continuing with the black roof theme and the black mirror caps, it's also got sort of front black splitter there, which is pretty cool. This vehicle is rolling on 17-inch aluminum alloys. Kumho, let's see here, they are 4-season. So this is an all-weather tire from Kumho. I'm not sure if those are the ones that came with the car. I don't think they would be, but they might be, because it is a Kumho Solus tire, so really good tires. Got the marker lights on the mirrors, cool little 48-volt badge right there. Of course, that's for the hybrid system. Now, this one doesn't have blind spot monitoring, but you can see the crest in the mirror here, so that it's got the blind spot mirror kind of built into the regular mirror. Nice to see. We've got proximity entry. No little light on this one, but at least it's got proximity entry. It's also got the keyhole cover on that. It's a nice touch. Coming around to the back, it's a really sharp looking little car actually. I wish they sold these in Canada. And yeah, you can see we've got the backup sensors on the bumper here as well. And there's the badge there, the i20 hybrid. Tail lights are partial LED. You can see it's got the i20 badge there as well. Yeah, it's a good looking little car. Sort of little air dam in the back here, and tailpipe's kind of hidden there underneath. Let's have a look at the storage space. Now, as I mentioned, I have borrowed this vehicle, so it's going to have some stuff in it. That's okay. So like the Hyundai Venue, this privacy cover can actually be taken off and slid down into there when not in use. And then it looks like there's some underfloor storage here as well. Oh, look at that. So that's where part of the hybrid system is hiding anyway. And you can actually drop the floor down to this lower level to give it a little bit of extra height as well. 60/40 split rear bench. And you'll notice actually on the left-hand side here, there's actually a subwoofer, because this vehicle is also equipped with the Bose audio system. So let's have a look at the back seat. All right, so in the back seat, check this out. Rear heated seats. And our Accents never got that when they sold them in Canada. All right, so now this front seat is way far forward because the driver is quite a bit shorter than I am. So you'll get to see how much I move that back in a minute. But I gotta say, the seat itself is actually quite comfortable. I've got oodles of headroom, and nope, no center armrest. Unfortunately, there is bottle holders in the door, so that pocket's quite large. And again, there's that Bose badge. On the center console, there is a USB port as well. All right, let's check out under the hood, and then we'll go into the front seat. All right, under the hood of the i20 hybrid, we have a tiny 1-liter, 3-cylinder turbocharged hybrid system. Now, of course, this one has the 48 volt motor in there with the battery in the back under the seats and whatnot. But we still have the breakaway motor mounts for extra safety. Over on this side, you can still have the 12 volt battery. So that's something we've noticed on vehicles in Canada when they're hybrids. Ours, at least, don't have the 12 volt battery. This one does still have that. Over on the right side, we got the fuse box there, and you can see, keeping in line with other Hyundai products, lots of structural adhesive, a very nicely buttoned up insulation on the hood there, and reasonable amounts of room to work around the outside. Now, it looks like we have a HSV system here, so a motor generator, I think. Now, this does look like a typical alternator, but it's quite different on the back. So I think that's what they're doing here, is they have a motor generator there instead of just your typical alternator. Now, this little motor produces about 100 horsepower. Then, of course, it is assisted by the electric motor as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's fire it up to start looking at some of the interior features. All right, so the very first thing I'm going to do is move that seat back. Otherwise, I am not going to fit. Now, this is a manual seat on this particular vehicle. It does have height adjustment, though, so you can raise and lower the seat. I'm not going to mess with the owner's seat that much, but as you can see, even with the seat up quite a bit, I do have an insane amount of headroom, actually. So this vehicle's headroom is phenomenal. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. All right, so having a look at some of the features on the inside of the vehicle, we're going to start with the door here. Now, of course, you do have your typical power window switches and mirror switches and whatnot. What this is pretty cool, though, it actually has power folding mirrors. Now, that is automatic as well, so when you lock the vehicle, both of those mirrors do fold in automatically, which is quite nice. And check this out, it's even got a heated steering wheel. It's got the auto start stop system, of course, being that it is a mild hybrid. You have the tire pressure monitor in this vehicle, and you can actually set it from this button right here. That's just your dimmer switch there. We have automatic headlights, as well as fog lights here, which we went over. But check this out, it's actually got fog lights in the front and in the back, so that's actually pretty common to have rear fog lights. Well, actually, that's that one. In Europe, they have a lot. Oh, no, sorry, that's the rear fog lights. That's actually pretty common in Europe as well. Now, we do have voice recognition, and check this out, it's actually a 10-inch screen on this i20. And you have voice recognition not only built in, but of course with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's all in German, so I can't read it. You've got the answer call, hang up call. There's your volume right here. This goes to next and previous preset, as well as next and previous song. You got your mode switch that switches between, let's see what we got here. We've got FM, AM, DAB, which I guess is some sort of thing that I'm not familiar with. Bluetooth audio, USB. And then you've got nature sounds, that's what that one is there. USB video, interesting. And then telephone projection, so that's your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So you can actually switch between those modes using the mode button, assuming those are set up, which they're not. On this side here, you've got all your controls for cruise as well as lane keep assist. So you've got low speed lane keep assist as well as presumably high speed lane keep assist. You've got the controls here for the instrument cluster. Check this out. It's actually got a digital instrument cluster. Doesn't look like a 10-inch like on some of the vehicles that I'm familiar with in Canada. It looks like more of maybe an 8-inch instrument cluster there, which is pretty cool. There is a drive mode button, so I'm going to go ahead and press that, and sure enough, check that out. It actually does the same thing, goes through the different screens. How cool is that? All right, so using those two buttons, let's have a quick look to see what's all in here. So it looks like we've got 3 separate menus. So we've got the first one here, which has our lane keep assist screen. We've got our, this is the attention monitor. So this is basically monitoring how attentive you're driving, and will tell you to take a break if you've been driving for too long and you're getting tired. This looks like basically your speed limits will show up in that screen or there when you're not on that screen. So that's the current speed limit of the street that we're on. Pretty cool. We've got a one spot over, we have a digital speedometer. We have our trip computer, so that's our drive info for this particular drive. We have our trip computer for just regularly that you can reset. And you can notice the fuel economy it's getting right now, 4.6 liters per 100 kilometers. This vehicle gets as low as 3.9 liters per 100 kilometers, so it is extremely efficient. Obviously with that tiny engine, that's what one would expect. All right, so looking a little further here, we have another trip computer. So that's just basically there's two, there's trip A, trip B. We have our energy info. So basically this is where energy coming from and going to. So you got your battery in the back there. It could be going to assist power, or it could be getting charged. That you would see if the vehicle was actually driving. And then back to our digital speedometer. And if I bump it one over, we have our compass. Now the compass actually turns into turn-by-turn directions if you're navigating with the built-in navigation system. And of course, we have a digital layout of an analog instrument cluster. So on the left-hand side, your speedometer, on the right-hand side, your tachometer. And then of course your total mileage down here, your total mileage kilometers still empty on the bottom left-hand side there. Pretty cool. All right, let's check out some of the other stuff. So in the center, we have a center console, lots of space in there for the size of the vehicle that it is. I'm not going to actually start pulling that stuff out because, you know, it's not my stuff. Glove box, of course. Pretty neat little design going on in the dashboard here. I mean, it's all quite hard plastics, but it looks quite handsome actually for an entry-level vehicle, at least what would be considered an entry-level vehicle in Canada. It looks pretty nice. We have a auto-dimming rearview mirror, pretty cool, and no buttons on it though. That's interesting. So normally we would see like home link buttons here, but I don't see that. We have the sensor for the automatic wipers. Sorry, that's right there. This is a moisture sensor, which is part of the climate control system, which I'm going to get to in a moment. And then all your other forward sensors like the forward-facing camera and whatnot there. It does have an SOS button here, but I really like the way they've done this. You actually have to pull the sort of security flap down before you can press the SOS button. Super cool. I like how they've done that. The visors, it looks like they don't slide. No, these ones don't slide, but they do have mirrors and lights. It's going to be on both of the front visors. Now this vehicle, check this out, is actually a 6-speed manual transmission with reverse, left, and forwards. So that's pretty neat. It's a hybrid with a manual transmission. You've got heated seats up here as well, of course. There's your drive mode buttons, your parking sensors, both front and rear. And then you can also turn on the backup camera simply by pressing that button. Check that out. A very nice, clear image backup camera with dynamic steering as well, of course. And then your forward and reverse parking sensors. What they didn't do, unfortunately, was include the color of the vehicle on the right-hand side here. But we do have some settings, so let's have a quick look. Nope, we can't change that, unfortunately. We can switch this to a top-down view, so that's pretty nice. Cool. All right, let's look at some other stuff here. So we've got a USB port there for charging devices, 12-volt power outlet, a USB port here for the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a can of candies. Now the USB port there for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it's not wireless on this, of course, because it has the built-in navigation system. So this particular software is still not compatible with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, but nonetheless, it does have it. All right, we have automatic climate control. It is just single zone. Okay, so single zone, single setting for the automatic climate control. And presumably, when you use the washer, let's see if it does it. So it doesn't switch to recirculate automatically, but that's probably just in the settings. So you got your temperature here, your fan speed here, but of course you want to just adjust the temperature and keep it on auto as much as possible. All right, so having a look at the center screen. Now, this is, of course, the biggest part of this system, but I'm not going to go into too much depth here because, well, I'm going to have to remember how to speak a lot of these German words in order to tell you what they are, but we do have some ones that we're familiar with down here. So these are the touch-sensitive buttons. Interesting that it's on a matte black, kind of a non-shiny. I'm so used to everything being on piano black, so it's interesting to see those buttons on a matte black finish. But there you can see we have the typical navigation system that you see on all 10-inch screens. Don't worry about the fluttering you see there on the screen. That's not actually happening in real life. That's just a result of the camera. But this one you can actually put into a 3D map system, which is quite nice. So very much the same as what we have in our Canadian vehicles. You got the home screen there, second home screen, and third home screen. But yeah, there is some stuff in here that I'm just not familiar with. Let's go into the climate settings though and see if we can turn on, let me see here. Okay, so it does turn on the recirculate when you put the windshield washer fluid on. It just doesn't show you the light up here, but that's okay. So it still does it though. And it also has automatic dehumidify and automatic defrost, I think. So one of these is dehumidify, one of them is defrost. Funny thing is, it's the same word for both of those things. Wow, interesting. Yeah, I don't speak German, guys, but I can read a little bit of it and I understand a little bit of it. So let's see here. You've got your media from your phone, your radio, of course, and the radio is going to look the same as ours as well, with some slight changes. Of course, this one has DAB, so I'm going to switch over to AM, and you can see we've got those really nice, you know, vacuum tube looking design here, and you can still put all of the presets along that bottom row, which of course you can't do in a lot of other vehicles. So setting presets is as simple as hitting the little star there. So again, I don't want to mess around with this vehicle too much because, well, it belongs to somebody. Got the quick access for the map navigation screen, where you can of course set up routes, but of course you can do that by voice as well. Telephone screen, of course. There's your projection stuff, so that'll be the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You got, let's see, you've got your setup, which you can get to from the setup button. Of course, in German, it's Einstellungen. You've got valet mode, Blue Link, so those are part of the Blue Link system, which of course that SOS button is also for. And then there's your nature sounds there. And I'm not sure what Hyundai Live is. That's a new one for me. I'm gonna tap it and see what it does. Ah, okay, that's part of Blue Link as well. So that is traffic information, parking information, I guess, and gas stations, like if you want to find a gas station. So that's a couple things that we don't actually have in Canada. No idea what that is. And that would be the manual. So you can scan the QR code to bring up the manual on your phone. Of course, it does also have multiple profiles, so you can see if I hit the profile button there, I can switch to a different profile. And of course, the profiles control everything from the interior lighting level to the, you know, the instrument cluster display, to presets that you have on the radio, favorites in the mapping system, that sort of thing. So pretty cool. Very, very similar to what we have in Canada, but still a little different. And it's kind of fun to look at some of those differences. Speaking of differences, so one thing I just noticed was it has tilt steering. It does not have telescopic steering. That's so strange. So almost every single Hyundai in Canada has telescopic. Actually, every single Hyundai in Canada has telescopic steering. Even the base model Hyundai Venue has telescopic steering. So interesting that this one doesn't. But yeah, well. Anyway, that pretty much concludes this video. I know it was kind of short, but yeah, not too much to talk about. It's not a, you know, super well-equipped vehicle, but it is a very well-equipped vehicle. So no sunroof, no leather, no head-up display. But for a vehicle that basically is the same as Hyundai Accent, at least what the Hyundai Accent would have been, I gotta say, I'm super impressed with the tech that comes in this car. I mean, having, you know, two digital screens in front of me, a 10-inch and I guess an 8-inch instrument cluster, a heated steering wheel, lane keep assist, forward autonomous emergency braking, does not have adaptive cruise. That threw me off a little bit based with, you know, on the fact that it had the sensors for it. Automatic climate control, etc. Cool, very well equipped. Just not super well equipped, but pretty close. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out in some way if you happen to be a European viewer. But yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty nice little car. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day and stay tuned for my next video, which hopefully is back in Canada. All right, take care.